Hey everyone, I'm Kisthart. I work here on staff at Calvary with the Partner Network, and recently I posted on social media asking for some help deciding what topics to talk about on this week of the Daily Dose. I was surprised at how many of you took the time to provide insight. Thank you. It was actually quite difficult to choose just one topic, but this week on the Daily Dose, I thought I would try to touch on several of them, and lucky enough for me, a lot of them tied together quite well. This first episode, we're going to dive into what it means to be raised in a life of faith and how we continue that into adulthood. How do we raise our children faithfully, and what does that even look like? What kind of action steps make it easy and achievable in our busy, chaotic lives? Living a Christ-centered life in the modern world can be both deeply fulfilling and challenging. In a time when the distractions and demands of our daily lives often pull us in various directions, maintaining a focus on faith and values can provide a source of purpose and peace. But it's hard, right? Most times, I struggle to find time to cook meals for my family or to get a good night's sleep. I dread the thought of having another thing to check off my to-do list. But I would dare to say that the first mistake we make is assuming that it's difficult. Like it's got to be some grand event or that it requires significant changes. It doesn't. Let me share some quick and easy practices that can help us live and raise our families in a contemporary but Christ-centered world. First of all, with each day, find time to connect with God. This can be done in prayer, with a devotional, or even meditation if that is what grounds you spiritually. Use this time to seek guidance, practice gratitude, or just focus on steadying your thoughts. And it doesn't have to be right away in the morning. I sometimes have this picture of myself getting up in the morning while it's still dark and quiet in my house and sitting down having a conversation with God. But that is not my reality. And if you're like me, most likely it'll happen throughout your day when you've had a chance to catch your breath. Maybe after coffee is made or when the kids finally get dropped off. Maybe it happens at night after the kitchen is cleaned and the children are tucked into bed. Speaking of children, if you're wondering how to encourage faith in your children, there's a really cool app called Parent Q. It's developed by Orange, and I have used it for about 8 years. It just gives great ideas on how to take advantage of the opportunities during your day to incorporate mindfulness around Jesus Christ into the lives of your children. Now, if you can find time, it's also a great practice to regularly read and study your Bible. This will deepen the understanding of Jesus' message and how it can be applied to your life. You can also explore modern Christian literature or interpretations to gain additional insight. I bought myself a study Bible, and it's honestly helped me so much. I'm not a theologian, so reading a Bible that was adapted to be more easily understood really helped me enjoy my time spent diving deeper. Secondly, live with love and compassion. My goodness, in this day and age, isn't it safe to say that we all need just a little bit more love and compassion? The world can be a dark place, and everyone is struggling with one thing or another, even with Christmas time coming up. I saw a post the other day that said, it's okay if this isn't the happiest time of the year for you. With all the joy and wonder, there are still people experiencing their first Christmas without a loved one. Or maybe still without a child. Or maybe with just not quite enough money to buy presents. If we wake up every day leading with love and compassion, the light and love of Jesus Christ comes across just a little bit brighter. Embrace Christ's message in your daily interactions. Treat people with kindness and empathy as Christ did. Seek opportunities to help those in need and strive to be a source of support and comfort for others. Now, let's talk about acts of service and outreach in our community. There are so many wonderful things to volunteer for, donate to, or serve alongside this time of year. Easton was a hockey player for 10 years. Ever since he was old enough to understand, my son would participate in the Santa for Seniors event the Hockey Association would put on. It was a night that all the players would pick up little gift baskets and get hauled around to various places, gifting these baskets to the senior citizens of our community. Every year it would come around and he would be hesitant. It was weird, right? Knocking on strangers' houses or going into nursing homes, but we persisted as parents because we recognized its importance. And every year he arrived back home with the biggest smile, having experienced so much joy. Again, it doesn't have to be big. If you're interested in opportunities right here in Alexandria, all you have to do is go to www.alexandriamn.city/volunteer. There are so many great ways to get involved, and get your kids involved too. Giving and serving fills the cup of our faith lives because it is parallel to the way Jesus lived. Giving to and serving those around him. Now we come to family and relationships. This one can be tough. Christ-centered living includes showing love and support to your loved ones and nurturing strong, healthy connections with them. If we think about this practice in the context of our children, it's easy, especially if you don't quite have teenagers yet. But what about the brother that doesn't quite share the same values as you, or the grandmother who hasn't got time for her grandchildren? Those can be the tough ones to prioritize, and that's understandable. But Jesus didn't just love the easy ones. He loved the hard ones too. So put the work in to try to come to a mutual understanding with the difficult family members in your life. And remember, just because you may not see eye to eye with them, don't take it personally when other members of your family don't share that opinion. And especially allow your children the freedom and opportunity to get to know them separate from your relationship. The last thing we're going to touch on is gratitude. This has come up in many of my conversations lately. At work, we're running out of space. And in my personal life, we're frustrated that our flooring got backordered. But what happens when we take a step back? Those things go from challenges to blessings. So many children call Calvary their church home that we are filling up every square inch of this beautiful new building we have. And my flooring being backordered, well, that just means that I have a home and enough means to make the renovations I'd like to make. It's all relative, isn't it? I truly believe that anything happening around us can be looked at by someone else as a blessing. We just have to step back and remember that God has given us so many. Okay, I lied. The actual last thing I want to chat about is finding a church community. There are several amazing churches in our community. Regularly attending church services and participating in faith community is going to remind you that you're not alone in this life, in this joy, or in this struggle. Lean into those people you are naturally drawn towards. You know the ones I'm talking about. If you find yourself pulled out of service with a busy toddler, look around you. There may be connections God is calling you to make. Someone who can offer fellowship and spiritual growth, all while understanding the struggles. After all, we're not meant to know or experience it all on our own. So in conclusion, living a Christ-centered life in this world requires intention, dedication, and a commitment to applying the principles and values taught by Jesus Christ to your everyday life. But it doesn't have to be all of those things every day. I mean, brushing my teeth and washing my face is approaching my capacity sometimes. But by incorporating some of these practices into your daily routine, you can experience a deeper sense of purpose, spiritual fulfillment, and a stronger connection to God. And remember, periodically reflecting on your journey towards living a Christ-centered life acknowledges your progress and identifies areas where you can improve your alignment. It's okay to change your mind on what it means to live a life of faith right now in your own journey. Sometimes the focus needs to be inward, and sometimes the focus needs to be outward. And helping our children, this is easy. They most likely will do what we do. So again, it's not about perfection. It's about progress.